someone is ready to buy that device. That kind of a confidence you should have. So you should be taking pre-sales orders, or you should take a letter of intent. Say for example, you could go to a doctor and say that, hey doctor, I am making a novel device for for your treatment. It would be useful for your day-to-day procedures, and this is going to change the way, it is going to make your life much more easier. Would you be willing to buy this device if I make this over a period of time, like in the next 1-2 years? And would you be willing to give a letter of intent saying that I would purchase this device if this comes? So that you could use it to get some investment, or get some grants and funding opportunities, or get some that will boost you in terms of confidence of your product. Yeah. Yeah.
Right now, everyone is brand conscious.
Yeah.
So this is medical device. So this is life providing things.
Mm-hmm.
So how to create that much trust with the doctor that they are GE and the big giants are providing that equipment. They are also researching on new innovation. If I develop anything new thing, how will I build that trust that he will?
So trust doesn't come on day one. So you'll have to keep working with them. So you'll have to keep meeting them again, tell your progress. So it develops over a period of time. So you will have to say that we've started here and we have made some technical changes, and now this is much more compatible with the clinical scenarios, and it solves these problems. So it comes over a period of time, and you get the doctor's attention based on your progress that you make. Yeah. So these are some of the ways where you could get your company funded, like could be government grants, angel investors, venture capital, friends and family, self-funding, loans, CSR grants, strategic investment. So strategic investment could be, you could be making something totally novel and different product. An existing big companies is not doing, but what you're doing is going to change the market, and you could go to the big company and say that we're making something new, and you could strategically invest in this. So you would probably get acquired over a period of time. That is just one of the strategies that small companies.
In the big companies, I think there should be some patenting strategy.
Exactly. Yeah. This is you should have some secure patent before you approach them. Yeah. So when you speak with customers, which in this case doctors.
We'll close in 5 more minutes.
Yeah, sure. So when you are making products for an unmet need, so most of the times imperfect design is the root cause for FDA medical devices recall. So you need to make sure that the design is proper before it is going, and the successful pathways has to be tested and iterated. So I think, so these are the things that you should look at when you look at product specifications, clinical validation, quality standards, regulatory distribution, maintenance, and you should look at the operating costs, user training, and disposables, functionality, clinical safety. When you look at the product perspective, how you could make the devices that users would have. And these are some of the standards, quality assurance, getting your product certified. So these are some of the CDSEO, BIS is there, and IEC and ISO. These are some of the regulatory bodies, notified bodies. And this will help you. This is by NASA. They have given a technology readiness level, standards, where you could basically see where you are in the stage of your prototyping. You could be here, or you could be making a working prototype. So these are something that you would be looking at when you are making your product development. What is the readiness level? Any funding agency would ask you, what is the level of your TRL stage that you're, or somebody might only fund initial idea to prototype stage, or somebody is ready to only validate, from validation to taking it to clinical stage, or somebody might interested to only fund the scaling up part from here. So risk management, it is basically you should look at what is the hazard and what kind of a situations the particular problem could lead to, what is the likelihood it could lead to a situation, and what is the severity level, and this is the flow for the risk management. And you should make sure that when you're going for this ISO certification, these are the things that you would be documenting it, and how you're going to address these risk factors. For example, there is a thing called CAPA, corrective action, preventive action. So if there is a risk that is going to happen, so what is the corrective action that you're taking beforehand, and what is the preventive action? And I think this is strategy that you should look at. If it is, you should focus on your strength. If your strength is on making electronics and design, do it by yourself. But if you cannot do it some kind of a very complex system, that is something you could outsource it. So these are some of those scenarios you could outsource and not do. So
that figure is, I feel, is very important. That if something is very strategic,
yeah.
for example, it is you don't want to outsource it. For example, there is a core technology which you don't want the third party to get exposed to. Then probably it's better that even if you are weak in it, you acquire competency to do that, rather than giving it to someone
strategically,
copy it, or go ahead with modification.
And one more thing is, you should always, when you're going for vendors, you should always look for good manufacturing practices, because they follow certain rules and guidelines before they do that. Yeah, so like I said before, verification, validation is very critical when you're coming up with a product. So you'll always want to make sure that you do testing, simulation, and you know that scientifically proved. So quality assurance and quality control testing. So testing, finding any defects in product, and you go for quality control, where you evaluate the product, quality of the product, whether it meets the customer's requirement, and you go for the quality assurance, where you're defining the whole process and procedures. This is the commercializing strategy. You could license the product or distribute it or direct sales. Some of the business models. Yeah, that's pretty much we could have. Are there any questions? Quick questions? So licensing is a good way, like these companies like Qualcomm. So they have some technology, very strong IP. They license it out to big company, big market. There's a opportunity for licensing it out, but you want to make sure that if you're licensing this particular product, what is the revenue it's going to be? That has to be very clearly defined. Yeah.
Thank you. So we'll meet at 4:30 again.
Yeah.
What is the time?
4 to 5.
What do you prefer? 4 or 4:30? 4 okay? Yeah. 4 to 5 time.